So it's not just a fuss in Essex, in the White Hart, but also an issue in Norfolk as well. In Caister-on-Sea, which is not so far from Great Yarmouth, there's a cafe which is selling golly toys, and apparently they've never done such big business. The Old Manor Cafe has been selling these toys for some time, but 2023, this has been a bumper crop, apparently. It's okay for people to complain about them. It's their right. But clearly the complaints that have been raised have drawn people to the cafe to buy the dolls. Now, on the one hand, I come back to the issue that I brought up the other day. If it's just the dolls, this is a part of our history. It's a part of the history that we share with the US, this minstrel tradition, and it would be idiotic, really, to erase that history. It's important to keep the history of things that we approve of and things we disapprove of. Otherwise, we are hiding stuff, and future generations will not know how we got here. So, for example, Roundtree's Robertson's jam was decorated with the golly character until 2002. That's a very recent bit of modification. That's a very recent change, and the golly character was very popular in the 1970s and the 1960s. Yes, a stereotypical evocation of the minstrel tradition, but the minstrel tradition is stamped into the early part of sound film. Without, if we erase the minstrel show, then we erase that first sound film by L. Jolson. We cannot do that. So what we have to do instead is contextualize things. Now, I think if these dolls are open to the sort of abusive commentary which we saw from the Riley Twitter feed about lynching and Mississippi, and these things being pinned to the ceiling as if being hanged, this is of course completely foul. And I think we need to, as I say, we need to see this in context. But they are in Enid Blyton. To erase them is absurd. They are the sort of black caricature, the minstrel black caricature, is in Tom and Jerry. It's impossible to erase that without remaking those films. And should we remake those films? It's also part. They're also part of the caricatured Friends of Dumbo in the original Disney cartoon. One of the great films from the Disney canon. There's also characters in Fantasia which Disney has removed by changing the screen ratio and reframing the scenes. I'm not sure that's the right thing to do. Equally, I'm certainly opposed to the complete censorship of Song of the South, a film with remarkable animation, which has cutting edge art in it, which simply we cannot see because Disney is too embarrassed about its the racist overtones of that film, which are definitely there. But if there's a possibility to contextualize these things, then maybe we can look at what is good rather than what is bad.